it seemed that my entire career before going to seminary had been a preparation for seminary. I'd enjoyed being in school. I enjoyed my Bachelor of Science in a Jesuit institution. And rather early, I would say high school, it became clear to me that I wanted to, let me put it this way, I realized I wanted to study theology. What would happen, I wasn't sure. There were certain things happening in the local diocese which I had seen from close range, some not very nice things, power dynamics and issues about property and elections. And being in the cathedral and listening to my parents speak, I could not help but overhear and experience another side of the church, which has plagued the church for a long time. But in spite of that, I knew I wanted to study theology. And at that time, there were two ways of going about it. You could get your sponsorship from your local church, followed by the sponsorship from the diocese, and then do a year of exposure, and then enter seminary. Or you could go with the backing of your local church as what they called at that time an independent candidate. With all that was going on in the church, the presbyter in charge of my local congregation, the cathedral, said, at this time, I think you should just go to seminary. If you wait for some of these bureaucratic things to happen, there are issues going on. And he happened to be the chair of the ministerial committee, which is the equivalent of, let's say, the candidacy committee. So when a person of that caliber told me to go, I went. Almost within the first few weeks, I realized that those broader questions that I had about studying theology versus becoming a pastor just dropped away. So already in my first year in seminary, I went back to the bureaucratic authorities of the church and said, I'm in the seminary, I have a seminary scholarship, but I would like to be placed on your roles as a theological student with the backing from the local church and all that it takes. So at that time they told me, go ahead, complete your program. We will send you to the exposure program after your degree rather than doing it before. So that's what I did. I completed my BD, Bachelor of Divinity, the equivalent of the MDiv in the United States, and then spent this year of exposure where I was basically the pastor of a church without being ordained, under supervision, and that fulfilled the ecclesiastical requirements. So you asked about an aha moment. I don't think there was an aha moment for my calling to study theology. I think my aha moment was, and I remember that it happened to be in the library, surrounded by what I still love a lot, books. The smell of books always has something special to me, which an e-book can never replace. But it was in the library that I had this moment of recognition that there need not be a separation between an academic form of theology and local ministry, feet on the ground ministry. And a discovery of that nature, in that sense, liberated me for ministry in whatever form I was called upon to do.